Hello, I'm Kerry and welcome to Piece of Paper. Today I'm going to walk through all the scrapbook layouts that I've done for our trip to Japan, which happened in April this year. So you will have seen maybe this first one in my first ever video. This is our departure that features this Stampin Up on the go paper. First few days we were in Disney. So these are some pictures of us of looking around the main Disneyland park. Then the next two layouts are of Disney Sea, which is a special place that is in Disneyland Tokyo Resort that's different from anywhere else. A little bit of journaling in the flip-flop there. And another page from Disney Sea. This is the area called Fantasy Springs. We used some ink blending on the title there, some wooden embellishments and butterflies. And this is from the celebratory sips paper to capture this kind of fairy tale feeling. It was my birthday while we were there, so I have a birthday sticker and a birthday cake. Then we went into Tokyo proper. So this here is capturing some of the sights from within the city. Predominantly done with the kintsugi paper. Some of the gold ribbons. I was having a mad time with the gold ribbons. This was the last place we visited before we left the city of Tokyo. We went to the cat temple, the temple that's made famous of the waving cat. This is the Country Woods paper and a little bit of kintsugi for the Japanese theme. Really cute little cats that I coloured in. Then we headed out towards Mount Fuji, and this was the day that Richard had really wanted, so we went driving classic Japanese cars. This is the car that Richard was particularly enthusiastic to drive, and I actually had him write the journaling for this day because this was his day. But for me, the most important thing of the day was that we actually visited Mount Fuji. So we've got some great shots of the cars and Mount Fuji. Little keys from the on-the-go dies. And then we took the bullet train down towards Hiroshima. So this layout captures the time that we spent in Hiroshima. We weren't there for terribly long, but we did go to the Peace Memorial Museum, which is obviously in recognition of the bomb that went off in Hiroshima. We saw a Gandhi statue, and I used vellum there for the journaling, and this from the Peaceful Garden set, because obviously it was a peace museum. I also loved here. I took this picture capturing all the cherry blossoms and tried to get the cherry blossoms here in the foreground. But Sky took a picture of me taking that picture, so I wanted to capture that in the scrapbook as well because I thought it was really cute. So we spent a night in a ryokan, which is a traditional Japanese hotel or guest house where we actually slept on the tatami mats on the floor. We had fully Japanese food, saw some koi, and we went to the onsen. You're not allowed to obviously take pictures in the onsen, but this is a picture that I've taken from the website to show you what it was like inside. And there's me and the two girls dressed in our yukatas before we headed off to go to the onsen. Where we stayed in the ryokan was on the island of Miyajima, which is the home of the famous Itsukushima shrine. I've saved this little scrap of paper from close to my heart because this is a famous site. So I'd saved that. It was a bucket list item, and here's pictures of me with the shrine. I got up quite early and managed to get there before everybody else. Well, some people go at sunrise, whereas obviously it's very beautiful and busier. I went after sunrise, but before most people got up. Then we took a cable car up the mountain to see the views and had a little wander around in some shops before we took the ferry back and headed back to Tokyo. In Tokyo the next day, I visited Sensoji Temple, which is the oldest temple in Tokyo. Dates back to 645 AD. So these are just some pictures that I took of me with the cherry blossoms and some sights of the temples. And I got my Goshuin signed here, which is a thing you can do at all the temples in Japan. This is also the Sky Tree, which is one of the 4 tall buildings you can go up in Tokyo. We didn't go up that one, but it was near to where we stayed. I used some gold foiling here for these Japanese. You see the gold? Not terribly well. Japanese classical images. Then we went to a place called Team Labs Planets. I don't know if they have them outside of Japan, but we'd never been to anywhere like that before. There's all these large exhibits that were all really interactive, so you can see lights and mirrors and water, crazy things to see. These were literally like giant balloons, and this was a dark space where the floor was all soft and squishy. The kids also had fun doing this thing here, which was jumping down a long trampoline, having to try and stay in the planet. And I used the Light and Wonder stamps and dies here, but predominantly it's more of the Aurora paper. I just couldn't believe how well the papers fitted with the lights when it's really not what they were designed with in mind. In another part of Team Labs Planets, very different, it was this amazing orchid place where there were plants growing and they all moved, and they don't have any soil, they just grow in the air. They can take the water out of the air and that's sufficient for them to grow. So some really nice pictures of the flowers, picture of myself and one of Richard, and I just put all the journaling about Team Labs Planets in there under that. This is one of the floral scrapbook kits. And then the reason that we actually went to Japan in the first place was to attend Star Wars Celebration 2025. So you can see here pictures from Star Wars. Really like this picture of all of us in the really classical Japanese imagery. And I used these little metal things from the Take to the Skies paper kit because I felt that sort of seemed to fit with the Star Wars theme. And then the last layout you'll have already seen, which is the Sunrise Sayonara, which just captures our journey home. So I've bookended with the on-the-go papers, but I didn't really feel that they had the right vibe for some of the things that I wanted to capture along the way. Hopefully you found that interesting. Feel free to shout if you've got any questions. Otherwise, hit a like if you like it and come back and see me soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.